Hello, hello. I'm Strider, your host here at Author in the Headlights, and I want to thank you for joining us today. And for those of you that haven't yet or new, if you'd hit that subscribe button, you won't miss a single episode. Today, we've got a special guest, Angel. Good morning, Angel.
Good morning.
This is Angel Giacomo, and you write very interestingly military thrillers. And not everybody would consider a female author as being one for military thrillers, but you've met all the requirements. And for a good read, you've been a canine handler, law enforcement field officer, traffic fatality investigator, explosive detection. Those-
That was all the way through the police department.
All right.
No, that was through law enforcement.
So through law enforcement, civil, that's good. I was firefighter EMT for 25 years. I went through a lot of those things too. And that gives you a great background for writing military thrillers. So how did you choose that as your genre?
Well, I've been a history buff most of my life. I mean, I when I was probably in junior high school, I wore out my copy of Day of Infamy by Walter Lord. I mean, I read it back cover to cover, and it basically fell apart. And then when I went into college, I minored in history. And while I was in college, one of the classes that was held, and it was an Army general that was putting it on, a retired general who had been part of MACV in Vietnam, taught a class about Vietnam in retrospective, and I got very interested in it.
That's cool. And you've got, well, your big set, the Jackson MacKenzie Chronicles, is like a 12 volume set.
Yes.
And it just keeps going and going. And see, what's your most recent of that?
The most recent one in that series was In the Shadows of Vietnam. What I did when I wrote the series was I started out, I have a three-book trilogy. It's In the Eye of the Storm, uh, Peace at a Cost, and Duty, Honor, and Courage. And then I branched off of that and started writing character books on the secondary characters and how they tell go into the story. So that's why it's 12 volumes, because there's only four books that are basically Jackson, and then the rest of them are all his friends, how the people the people in the army that he met that became his friends, one that later his wife, and then and just things like that.
So connected, but not exact same storylines run through.
No, no.
That's a great way to do that. It continues, it allows you to expand your story beyond just a person or a set. That's great. Anything else?
I'm working on a new one. It hasn't gotten very far. Last year, I got involved with the reunion group for the 85th evac hospital in Vietnam, the one that was in Pubai, and helped them put together an anthology of their stories. I mean, real, true stories of their time at the 85th evac.
Hmm.
And I put that together for the reunion group and got it out last April, and it was a big hit. I got a lot of compliments from them for and thank yous for helping them put that out, because one of them said it helped with a lot of healing. As I said, they saw, they were in an evacuation hospital,
Yeah.
and they saw a lot of what happened.
It was not a great time. It
Mm-hmm.
happened and we did our part.
Yeah.
Yep. And I didn't end up going. It was the time of the draft, and my number simply didn't come up, though so many of my friends did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I was lucky or not.
Yeah, my father was in the Navy at the time, and he served on an amphibious assault ship that was off Vietnam. He actually got the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal for Vietnam. So I do have a little bit of a tie to the actual war
Mhm.
itself.
Yeah, me too. My brother was a Marine over there, so
Mm-hmm.
those things happen, and we hope they don't happen again. Now,
Correct.
you've also got some dual authorship books, a couple of those.
Yes.
And then you've got one that is totally off genre, Giacomo Family Recipes.
Yes, that came out. We had a family reunion in McAllister in 2004. And what happened, that is my family came from my grandfather, my great grandfather came from Italy, and through Ellis Island, and they migrated to McAlester, Oklahoma, because of the coal mines, and we're mining coal down there. So in 2004, we had a family reunion, and this was a bunch of recipes that they had put together from our aunts and grandmother and stuff like that. So I just put it together in a book with some of my recipes.
I do a lot of cooking myself, so I may have to just try that and see how that works.
So yeah, there's actually on the ones that were handwritten or typed up, there's
Hmm.
actually the recipe. I typed it up myself, and then I put a copy of the actual,
That's cool.
handwritten recipe, from each one of them. So, well, I do like to cook too. I do like to
Do
cook.
you like to cook too? All right.
So, in fact, I learned how to make. I have a friend in Italy that has visited me a couple of times, and I learned how to make tiramisu of all things.
Well, what's your favorite recipe there?
My Italian favorite thing to eat, carbonara.
Uh-huh.
I love carbonara.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I do it in Italian chili, and a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
didn't know Italian said chili, but I don't know if they do either. But I made one.
No, no chili.
Uh, it's good. That's good. Now, with a series of 12 books, you must have a method you use in writing. Is it just all seat of the pants, or do you have a process that you use?
It's basically seat of the pants. It says I've been writing for many years. I mean, I was a police officer. I did a lot of writing, but it was dry reports. Basically just the facts, just the facts. So, I became a cop in 1993. So I have a lot of writing under my belt. I also wrote fan fiction when I was much younger. Um, television shows, your favorite television shows, things like that. So, but it's basically seat of the pants. I do a lot of research. I'm a very meticulous researcher because if you read the books, you find out. I will find out what the weapons used. Right down to tactics. You know, uh, actual place. Put actual places in the book, like I don't know if I say it right. The base in the very beginning of In the Eye of the Storm is called Phuoc Vinh. I hope I say that right. So, and that was an actual fire base in Vietnam. So I'm a very meticulous researcher with the National Archives and find out, information.
Well, it is important that you write with real connection to what's happening because if you don't, your
Mm-hmm.
readers will get back a hold of you and say, that's not right. That's
That's
not how
wrong.
that worked. That's not what we
Mm-hmm.
did. They do respond back, I have found. So it is
Mm-hmm.
important for a writer to do the best work they possibly can in verifying data
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of thing. So that's good. Do you have any other tools of the trade you use?
Basically, just a laptop.
Just a laptop.
Just a laptop. That's basically what I use. The
That's
internet for
all it takes.
research. That's all it takes. And Word,
We've
Microsoft
had
Word.
we've had one author that did interviews with us that wrote his entire book off of his phone.
Oh,
Now,
that would be hard. I
that
have a
for
hard enough
me,
time
that would be hard.
doing a text message, and having to back up and change the word and then trying to write on the phone. Boy, that would be difficult.
But he did it. He accomplished it and he got it done. And there is no wrong way. That is for those of you out there that are authors or new authors in particular, there is no wrong way to do it. Get it done. Make sure you get it edited so that you
Mm-hmm.
have two
Yes.
sets of eyes on it because you cannot edit your own work effectively because
No,
your
because you.
brain will see what it expects to see, not what is actually there. It's just the way our mind works. So
Yeah, it will blend. You'll start blending in, and you don't catch the mistakes.
you
Yes.
don't, you don't.
Yes.
So I really appreciate your time here with us. We've hardly spent any at all, but I will read your work because I want to know what you write and I
Mm-hmm.
like it. Um, and I've done a lot of the military thrillers in the past, and they carry me because I also grew up in a time when that happened a lot. And even now, just it's there. All right.
Yeah. I didn't intend it this week, but the way In the Eye of the Storm, someone pointed it out, is it turned out into an allegory. It turned into an allegory, where Jackson is the forgotten soldier.
Wow. All right.
So, I hope you enjoy it.
Me too. I expect to. And I have to say, I haven't yet, but you got my attention here. And I do like to read these books. I read constantly. There are multiple books sitting in my house right now, every day. Every day I read. So I always have. So I'll get to it. And you keep writing so we can
Thank
keep
you.
reading them too.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Angel Giacomo, your work will be on DurhamandPublishing.com's bookstore. People can link into it there and find it, or everywhere else it's sold. So good luck on your military thrillers and wherever you write to next.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angel. And the rest of you, thank you for being with us today. And until next time, sponsored by DurhamandPublishing.com.